least you didn't put your gusher in your juice this time.
I'm not drinking juice this time.
At least you didn't put gusher in your Coke this time.
We don't have pretzels.
This is an audio medium. At least you didn't put gusher in your glass of blood and tears this time.
Speaking of blood.
Welcome back to... Oh, I hate that. That's one of my pet peeves when a podcast opens with welcome back. It's like, bitch, how do you know I've been gone? This could be somebody's first episode. If it's your first episode, welcome. If it's not your first episode, welcome to another episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast. I am your host, Billy Beck.
I am your co-host, Codie Beck.
And this is where we talk about movies that are based on books. Is that the best I've ever done that?
Probably,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
We didn't struggle
Retire
that
now.
much.
Call it quits, Billy.
We peaked. We have survived our Hunger Games. If the Hunger Games was doing a podcast
We
open.
ate well tonight. Yeah, we're talking about this. Oh, there's some schmutz on my desk. What is that?
It's probably food.
Can you hand me a tissue? I don't know what that is.
It's probably sauce of some
All right,
sort.
this is going to sound like thunder rumbling on this microphone because it's on the table. I might leave this in. We'll see how
At
it
least
sounds
it's
in the
giving me
edit.
time to eat my gushers.
Yes, eat your gushers. Don't dunk them in your Betty.
Not the boss of me. Stop smelling this.
When did we have barbecue sauce? How have you been since we last recorded?
I've been pretty good. I have been playing a lot of The Sims. The Sims 4 specifically, because I want to live in a better world.
After 2,500 hours in The Sims 1.
Honestly.
I feel like that number's low.
It's probably a little low, honestly. But, so you all know my name is Codie. The Sims randomly generates names for NPCs, and my Sim, I'm playing a version of myself because I'm an adult.
As we all do.
Yes. So my Sim's name is Codie, and the pre-gen Sim that she happened to get married to is also named Cody, spelled differently. And we had babies, and it happened to be twins, so both of them are also named Cody. So there are 4 Sims in this house named a variation of Cody because I can commit to a goddamn bit.
None of them are Cody Jr.
All variations of Cody. So that's how I've been. How have you been?
Depressed?
Why would that be? What possibly could you have said in the last pod that could have changed?
So, last time out we mentioned it was the final regular season game for Angel City. We could make the playoffs. We ended up winning that game 5-1.
It was a resounding victory.
It was the best game of football I've ever seen that team play, and it might have been the most complete performance I've ever seen a team play live. It was just beautiful. The weed might have had something to do with it, but I was like literally in tears when Sid LaRue scored that bicycle kick.
Is that the first time you've ever seen a team you care about win?
Well, I mean, I've seen City win live a couple times, like in the stadium.
I forgot about those. I forgot about your city trips.
And Angel City's won games we've been to, but that was like a dominant performance. And watching one of my favorite players ever score that bicycle kick goal blew my mind. And it was like 2 minutes after that Claire Emsley backheeled to Emme Vignola to that one-timer into the near post from Savannah McCaskill, which was just
filthy.
Gorgeous football.
Beautiful.
So that was Sunday, and then Friday was the first playoff game, which we lost to Megan Rapinoe's OL Reign in her farewell season. And fair enough, she's moving on in the playoffs. Ali Krieger in her farewell season is moving on with Gotham FC. So these legends are going to have one last run. Fine by me. We made the playoffs. That was the goal this year. Next year, what I want is a home playoff game.
Honestly,
I know the team wants to win.
OL Reign was the better team on that night. That was a rough game to watch.
It was a defensive battle. Both teams played well considering what they were each trying to do. And we knew once it hit like the 75th minute, whoever scored was going to win it. And it just happened to be them.
I mean, there was also the issue of fucking Brad.
Fuck Brad.
Fucking Brad.
Fucking Brad. Brad is a referee in the NWSL who last season we accidentally learned his name and he made some bad calls. And now every time we see him, we know there's trouble. It's like seeing Ted Uncle show up in an MLS game. It's just not good.
For the record, I recognized this motherfucker from the back on the pitch. And I said, there's no way it's fucking Brad.
And it was fucking Brad. But at least it wasn't J.C. Griggs. And then, of course, that was on this past Friday, as of day of recording. Yesterday, Phillies lost Game 7 of the NLCS to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
It was their first ever Game 7?
First ever Game 7, because not every series is a 7-game series. Some are 3, some are 5. We've played Game 5s before. It was the first time in franchise history. I think, 1883 was when the Phillies were founded.
They said that fact on commentary yesterday, and I was just like, that sounds
You thought
fake.
You misheard.
I did.
But yeah, it was the first time in franchise history that they lost a Game 7.
I was like, is it the first one against the Diamondbacks? Like, it can't be. The baseball's been around since forever.
Not every series goes 7. It's special when it does. And this year, both series went 7 games, the AL and the NLCS. Mm-hmm. And both times, the team that was in the World Series last year lost. So we were 1 game away from a replay of last year's World Series. But of course, what that means is, since the 5th of November 2022, I have seen my Phillies get knocked out of an NLCS. I have seen my Eagles lose a Super Bowl. I have seen my Philadelphia Union get knocked out of the semifinals of the League Cup, the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions League. And of course, on that fateful day, November 5th, 2022, I was in the stadium as my Philadelphia Union lost the MLS Cup final and got home just in time to watch the Phillies lose the World Series. It has been a long, hard year for Philadelphia sports fans. But
it's okay.
It's been fucking emotionally brutal. And Phillies fans, fans of Philadelphia sports in general, Phillies fans, Eagles fans, Flyers fans, whatever you want to call them, Philly fans have a reputation. And everyone likes to conflate multiple incidences and say that we threw batteries.
Threw batteries at Santa Claus.
That's not what happened. There was an Eagles game where, if I recall correctly, the guy who was supposed to be Santa Claus didn't even show up, and there was a teenager dressed as Santa Claus, and fans he was egging on fans, and they were throwing snowballs at him. That dude, he actually passed away not too long ago, a couple years back, and he would go to bars and drink for free because he was Santa Claus, and he loved it. He loved knowing that he was the Santa Claus, right? I wish I could recall his name, but absolute Philly sports legend, that guy. The batteries thing.
Honestly, whose idea was it to give away batteries at a freaking game?
It was a Phillies game, and it was... I don't remember the whole saga because I was pretty young, but I do remember watching the game when it happened. I was watching this game live. I think it was Duracell or Energizer had a giveaway at the gate, as you do to get fans in the door, and they gave away batteries. And I think it was just 2 guys in the outfield were the throwers. And the reason was I think he was an outfielder, J.D. Drew. And I want to say he plays for the Braves. Again, I was young. I don't really remember. But he was attached to the Phillies as a prospect, and everyone in the city expected him to play for the Phillies, and he was going to be this great player, and he ended up picking a rival. So his first game at I can't remember if this was the Vet or Citizens Bank Park, but his first game in Philly, he had batteries thrown at him. They don't give away things like that anymore.
So what I'm hearing,
my point being, because of these incidents, and, they had to grease the light poles when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Win or lose, they had to grease the light poles.
Here's the thing. Philly sports fans are incredibly passionate. Incredibly passionate. Borderline psychotically passionate about our sports. And it's because sports is a huge part of the Philadelphia identity. Whenever people come to town, it's oh, what about the cheesesteaks and the Rocky statue? It's oh, that's second to fucking sports. It's how we communicate. I always thought it was weird that people would make fun of small talk being the weather, that's the go-to small talk, because I never experienced that growing up outside of Philadelphia. My small talk was, did you catch the game? And depending on what day it was, that could have been 2 or 3 games. Could have been the Phillies, could have been the Sixers. Did you catch the game? And then if the answer was yes, then you and the stranger had something to talk about. It's part of the Philly identity. And we're proud to be passionate. Because that's how we see it from the inside. It's just passion. It's love. We're not all violent. There's more violence at Dodgers games. If you show up at a Dodgers game wearing Giants gear, there's like fights. There's like stabbings and stuff up in San Francisco at their games. That doesn't happen in Philly as much. There's a lot of fucking brutal trash talk. We'll ruin you emotionally.
The most violence I've ever seen in person was at an LAFC game.
Yeah, LAFC games scare the shit out of me. I'm nervous when I go, like, because I always go as an away support, and I have to when I'm on the train going down, I wear a sweatshirt, I cover up my Philly gear because I don't want shit to happen on the subway.
We weren't even near the 3-2-5-2.
Oh, when I went to the MLS Cup final, I had a half full Heineken thrown at me, hit me square in the chest right after Gareth Bale scored the equalizer in extra time. I understand my Philly sports roots, and I finished that Heineken and stared down the section that threw it at me. Because I'm not a fucking coward.
Is that how you got COVID?
But, like, all of the, watch any LAFC game. There's beers thrown out on the field.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. That happened in the Braves-Phillies series. There was a contested call, and the Braves fans weren't happy with the call and threw beers on the field. That didn't happen during Game 6 or 7 this week against the Diamondbacks. Because Philly fans are trash talkers. We're not necessarily all violent. But we have that reputation because of those other... I'm ranting at this point just to get over my fucking depression over going through this shit again. And I'm watching the Eagles win week in and week out, just knowing I'm going to be disappointed in February.
So what I'm hearing is first and foremost, fuck the Astros.
Oh, fuck them.
Second.
Fuck them long, fuck them hard.
Fuck those cheating bitches. I do not give two shits about baseball.
You were asking me the rules the other day.
I could give two shits about baseball. Fuck the Astros. Come at me if you want to. They cheated. They're as bad as the fucking Patriots. And I will fight you and I will win.
Yeah.
Second, we need to do Silver Linings Playbook.
Absolutely. I think we'll do that in the wintertime. Because I remember watching the playoff games they're watching in that movie. I remember those games. But yeah, I my point being, we're a passionate fan base that has seen 2 championships in the last 40 years. 2. 2008 Phillies, 2017-18 Eagles. And if you want to count the Union's 2020 Supporter Shield, you can. But that wasn't like the cup, you know? And the sad thing is, I didn't even watch the final out of the 2008 World Series because my roommate at the time would wear Phillies gear because he was from Philly proper.
He didn't want
but he hated the Phillies. He just wore it as a fashion statement. And I'm watching the game in the dorm room, and the final out, I believe, was a fly out in foul territory. And as soon as the ball popped up, he turned the TV off. And it was an older, like, CRT TV. It took a little second to warm up. And by the time I turned it on, they were celebrating. I didn't see... And I had a rehearsal I was already late for. Like, I had to go. And I've seen the out since, obviously, but I didn't get to see it live. So, losing again just fucking sucks, man. It sucks. It fucking sucks. I hate it.
What was the thing that you said about living in Philly? It's terrible. You're surrounded by Philly sports fans all the time.
Yeah, it's a hard place to live because everyone around you is a Philly sports fan. You're surrounded by assholes.
Speaking of being surrounded by assholes.
Catching Fire.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about how we came to know the series. We did that last episode.
Yep.
I guess what we should do now is watch a trailer and then talk about a movie.
Let's do that.
All right.
I understand that whatever I do, it comes back to you and Mom. I don't want you to get hurt.
Since the last games, something's different. I can see it.
What can you see?
Hope.
You saved us. I know that. But I can't go on acting for the cameras and then just ignoring each other in real life.
not who they think she is. And she has to be eliminated. I agree, but in the right way, at the right time.
We have to go before they kill us. They will kill us.
People want to fight. I'm staying here.
They fought very hard in the games, Miss Everdeen. But they were games. Would you like to be in a real war? Imagine thousands of your people dead. Your loved ones gone.
What do I need to do?
This is the 75th year of the Hunger Games. The tributes are to be reaped from the existing pool of victors.
I get to say goodbye.
So what do we do? I think these games are going to be different.
The 75th Hunger Games!
Ready to work?
There she is, Katniss Everdeen, the girl on fire!
I want you guys to forget everything you think you know about the games. Last year was child's play. This year, you're dealing with all experienced killers.
Any last advice?
Stay alive. Remember who the real enemy is.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the plot super quick here because there's a lot of meat that I want to sink my teeth into.
And book and movie are very similar with some notable differences that we're going to bring up.
That'll be the thing. So it's almost a year later. Katniss and Peeta still live in District 12. They have their own homes now in Victor's Village, which is very sparse and barren because the only other person that lives there is Haymitch. They are preparing to go on the Victory Tour, where they're going to visit every district along the way as the victors and pay their respects to the fallen tributes and move on. Before they leave, President Snow pays Katniss an unexpected visit. He doesn't believe her that she loves Peeta, and he's fucking right, and she admits as such. So he wants her to make it believable. He wants her to convince him during this victory tour that they're in love. Unfortunately, the first stop is District 11, and when she sees Rue's face, Katniss, speaks her heart instead of what's written on the cards by Effie Trinket, and causes a riot in which an innocent is executed in front of the population.
What's that chant about? I don't see no riot here. You're the ones who brought riot gear.
Yeah. Yeah, the peacekeepers who are armed to the fucking teeth to, keep the peace. Poignant. So as they continue on their victory tour, they keep playing up to the cameras that they really love each other, but it's very clear that they have no emotion behind what they're reading on the cards. They're just doing it so that people don't get shot. At the end of the victory tour, they have a banquet party at the Capitol, where there's actually a great scene where they're full from eating so much, and someone hands them basically a glass of Ipecac. They're like, oh, throw it up, and then you can eat more. And they're like, we're starving at home, and they eat just to throw it up? But anyway, experiencing the decadence of the Capitol, one of the last stops, they announce that they're engaged because they're really trying to sell it to Snow. But Snow makes it clear, I ain't bought it. Mm-hmm. The next Hunger Games is the 75th, or the Third Quarter Quell, which is a great word. Every 25 years, the rules change. I believe the first Quarter Quell was... There was something with it, and I don't remember it.
There was. I don't think we find out what it was.
Okay. The second Quarter Quell was double the tributes, and that's the one that Haymitch won. That's not in the movie, but I read that.
Yes.
And the third one was probably supposed to be something different. But the new game master, who Katniss meets at this party, Plutarch, has an idea to throw a wrinkle in the system. And his idea is all of the tributes will be pulled from a pool of former tributes.
Oh, it's his idea in the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so.
It is not his idea in the book.
I remember it being his idea. Anyway, naturally, this means Katniss is getting picked. She understands this. She desperately doesn't want Peeta to get picked. So she tells Haymitch, if his name is drawn, volunteer. And Haymitch is like, fine. But if mine's drawn, I can't stop him. And of course, that's what happens. So Peeta and Katniss back in the fire. They go back to the capital for their training after the reaping, get to meet some of the other past winners' current tributes, and they start making allegiances with the weirdos. There's still your 4 careers. I think there's a brother-sister pair. There's a lady who sharpened her teeth because she bites the throats out of people, and like another WWE guy. But then there's like a bunch of weirdos. There's tech weirdos who won by electrocuting people. There's camo weirdos who won by hiding till everyone else died. There is Joanna, who is just fucking off her rocker. Absolute revolutionary, ready to ruin shit.
Do you know how she won her game?
I don't think it's specified in the movie, but I believe she pretended to be weak so that everyone would ignore her until she just started lopping off heads.
Correct.
Cool. Good for her. Love her. And then there is Fennec and Mags. Mm-hmm. Fennec is from District 4. He was the youngest ever winner, so he's still 14. Pretty young. He was 14 when he won. And his girlfriend was also a former victor. And I believe her name gets reaped, but Mags volunteers as tribute, who was his mentor. And she's in her, 70s.
Yes, she is an early winner.
So Haymitch makes it clear, not clear, but he lets Katniss know, hey, we're working for you here. Just tell us who you want on your side and we'll make it happen. So she picks the fucking weirdo crew. They go into the games. I don't think I'm missing anything important from the Capitol here. Oh, I am. That the night before big press conference thing.
Yes.
It becomes very clear that no one on this stage wants things to happen. Her costume for this is the wedding dress, which Snow requested she wear a wedding dress. But Cinna, our boy, Lenny Kravitz, makes it so when she spins, it catches fire and turns into a Mockingjay-inspired, symbol of revolution. Mm-hmm. And Peeta, during his bit, announces that she's pregnant. Katniss is pregnant. And at this point, members of the Capitol are like, we can't do this, right? She can't go in there.
We can't send a pregnant child into the Hunger Games.
No, that baby's too young. That baby's not a victor. They can't go in there. It's against the rules. But, of course, the night ends with all 12 tributes. I don't know if the 1s and 2s.
They do.
They do.
Yes.
All 24 tributes from the 12 districts all hold hands and raise them in air in a sign of solidarity against going back into the games. Doesn't work. Games begin. They find out the arena is shaped like a clock. And every hour in each wedge of the clock, another disaster happens. One fills with poison. That's unfortunately how we lose Mags. One is filled with...
Blood rain.
Blood rain?
Blood rain.
Blood rain. Raining blood, not the Metallica song.
Correct.
Is that even a Metallica song?
I think it's Slayer.
It's probably Slayer. Oh, God.
Kyle, we need your help.
Raining blood is Slayer. Oops, my bad.
Call us out, Kyle.
Call us out. One of them, there's a bunch of lightning that strikes a tree at 12 and midnight.
Yes.
One is filled with howler monkeys that'll attack you. One is filled with, what is the name of that bird?
Jabberjays.
Jabberjays. Something goofy and silly. Yes. That sound like the screams of your loved ones. Uh-huh. So various psychological and physical tortures. And then the middle is an island in a lake that can spin. And that's the cornucopia. That's where all the goods are. And that's where they begin. So over the course of the games... There's some violence. They figure out the puzzles. They figure out how it all works. BT, who is from District 3, he won his games by electrocuting a bunch of people. Uh-huh. Goes, okay, lightning strikes that tree at midnight, and a big tsunami of water at 10 o'clock comes from that wedge over there. Let's take this copper wire I have for some reason, tie it to the tree, run it down here, and then we'll lure the
careers
to the beach. And when the water comes down, they'll be wet, and then the electricity will strike the tree, and we'll electrocute them, and we'll all be fine. Like, they'll be gone, then we can just worry about each other. Katniss and Peeta don't quite trust all of them. So they decide they'll keep BT alive till midnight, and then they'll escape on their own and survive by themselves. The rest of the group, Joanna and... Or who makes the call? I think BT tells Joanna and Katniss to run the spool of copper wire.
Yes.
While Fennec and Peeta protect him at the tree.
Yes.
And that's when the careers jump in. They break the wire. And they kill BT.
Know?
Well, something does. When this happens, Joanna stuns Katniss, removes the tracking device from her arm, and tells her not to move. Of course, being a 17-year-old girl full of hormones, can't decide which boy to kiss. Does not stay down, and she goes to find Peeta, because he's the boy she wants to kiss now. She can't find Peeta, she finds BT down, and sees that he wrapped the copper wire around a spear, and actually shocked himself on the force field. Mm-hmm. That's when she realizes exactly what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. She has an opportunity to kill Fennec, thinking he betrayed her. Snow wants her to do it, and she also declines to do that, because Fennec says, remember who the real enemy is here. So she wraps some copper wire around her arrow, and just as lightning is striking the tree, she shoots that arrow into the roof of the dome, which disables it, causes it to fall apart. As it does, a hovercraft descends through the hole in the Truman Show building, scoops her up like it did with two bodies previously that we saw in the movie, which is weird, because we don't see that at all in the first one.
They still do it, but...
Yeah, we just don't see it.
Yeah.
And that's probably budgetary. So it scoops her up, and then she wakes up on the hovercraft. BT is still alive, barely next to her. And she goes into a room and sees Fennec, Plutarch, and Haymitch discussing the plan. And they drug her until they can get where they're going, which turns out to be District 13. What? Gasp! There was a District 13, and it's still there, even though they said they decimated it to ash? Who knew? And that's where Gale is, and Gale got her sister and mother out of District 12 before it was firebombed by the Capitol and wiped off the face of the earth. But unfortunately, Peeta and Joanna have been kidnapped and are being held in the Capitol. And this whole thing was a plan. Almost everybody in the games was in on it, trying to get Katniss out, because at this point, she is such an important symbol of revolution in Panem that they needed her alive. And they needed to have this massive act of defiance against Snow in the Capitol. And that's where the second one ends. I tried to keep that brief, but it's a 2.5 hour movie.
It's very long.
It's so long, and so much happens.
Yes.
So, I didn't want to get into politics last time.
We gotta get into politics this time?
We're gonna get a little political, a little revolutionary. We should put a disclaimer out here. We decided to do this franchise before everything that's happening in Israel and Gaza. That's why we were very hesitant on the last episode to say anything about revolution. Because it is a very complex situation. Our stance is that innocent people should not be killed, either to make a political statement or in retaliation for any sort of atrocity. Killing innocent people, man, woman, child, is wrong.
We are praying for the safety of our Jewish friends who have family members and friends in Israel. We are praying for the safety of Palestinians because this is a conflict that is taking a toll on, like you said, a lot of innocent people. And unequivocally, we condemn the murder of innocent people.
Yes. So going forward in this episode, when we talk about revolution and terrorism and things like that, that is not us trying to make any further statement on the situation in the Middle East. It is solely about the contents of this novel/film series.
Correct.
Is that a line drawn there?
Yes.
Are we good?
We will probably talk about America, though.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a very American thing. That's why I said in the Middle East. Because a main theme of this, and it is a theme of a lot of revolutionary fiction, fiction in which a political revolution is the core, is that an act of revolution is considered an act of revolution when it's successful. Look at the United States of America. When it's not successful, it's considered an act of terrorism. Look at defend the Atlanta forest. So, yeah. I think I've danced around words enough. So, where do you want to start?
So, there's actually a quote. So one of the major themes of this book specifically, and the Hunger Games, the first book as well, is this us versus them mentality. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep the populace divided and fighting amongst each other, they can't question the power structure. But in this book,
I was going to say, that's a common fascist tactic.
Yeah.
Look at the Trump presidency and blaming immigrants on everything. All of your problems are their fault.
Prior to, I believe prior to the Quell, I'm actually just double checking that. Right.
Oh, listen to those pages flip.
Yeah.
That library copy.
Listen. So, yes, prior to the announcement of what the Quarter Quell is. Because in the book, the timeline is slightly different.
Okay.
The Victory Tour specifically takes place 6 months between the games. Like 6 months after the games and 6 months before the next one. Because the goal is to remind everyone that the games are happening and the Capitol has this power. They want to make sure you remember. So, this is after the Victory Tour. Prior to the major crackdowns, like at the start of the major crackdowns in District 12 specifically. And Katniss realizes, I can't let the Capitol hurt Prim. And then it hits me. They already have. They have killed her father in those wretched mines. They have sat by as she almost starved to death. They have chosen her as a tribute, then made her watch her sister fight to the death in the games. She has been hurt far worse than I had at the age of 12, and even that pales in comparison with Rue's life.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a systemic problem.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's interesting that she does so much to protect Prim. When Prim outright tells her, you don't need to protect me. Mom and I are fine. Like...
There's an almost interesting, sort of unreliable narrator, because Katniss has fucking PTSD, because she's a 17-year-old who's gone through incredible trauma in a universe where therapy doesn't exist.
Yeah, and the way that's actually portrayed in the movie is fascinating. She and Gale are out in their hunting grounds, and he mentions he saw some turkeys. So she grabs her bow and she goes to shoot a turkey, and when she releases the arrow, it becomes the guy she killed in the first Hunger Games. And she has a breakdown then and there. I believe in the novel she has recurring nightmares.
Yes, she has.
And I think she has one as well that Peeta calms her down in the Capitol.
Yes, she and Peeta basically sleep in the same bed every night because it's the only way they can both sleep. Because they both have horrific nightmares.
Yeah, because of the childhood PTSD.
Yay!
Where was I going with that?
I mean, the theme of the whole book, the us versus them, Katniss is already a little bit too damaged to pick up on it, but over and over again, it's demonstrated how the Capitol is trying to divide them. Mm-hmm. And also how people keep reaching out to her. Yep. Like, when you get to... Finnick and Mags could not be more fucking obvious with what they are trying to do. Because he approaches her. And yes, he comes on a little strong.
With his sugar cubes?
Yes. But that's his personality. Yeah. That's the persona he's created, which is another thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, but he's a charmer.
Exactly. He has to be, because that's how he survives. And we'll get into that more in Mockingjay. But also, he and Mags specifically pick out archery to practice on. Because, of course, that's a natural way for them to react and interact with each other. I'm sorry. In the book, they have like a week of training before they have
a bunch of training as well. I didn't see them do any archery that I can recall. What appeals to Katniss is Mags's work on creating fishing lures.
Yes, she does. That's how she ends up approaching Mags, is the fishing lures. But the first day when she is... I can't remember what it is, like what activity specifically she's doing. Oh, fires. That's how she hangs out with BT and Wirus. She stays there because Finnick and Mags are at the archery station, and Joanna specifically is described as stripped down and oiling herself so she can wrestle. Joanna's naked like 80% of the time that you meet her in this book.
Fair. I get it. I would be too if I were portrayed by Jenna Malone.
And then, like, yes, also same. Very much same. And then in the arena, like, he saves BT. He saves PETA multiple times.
And she still doesn't trust him.
No, because she can't trust anyone. Broken.
But that's also what makes her this important leader to the revolution, is she outright refuses to wear a mask. She refuses to create a persona around herself to survive. She understands that that's fucked up. I'm not doing that. That's not me. And that is what's so empowering about her for everyone else is, hey, she didn't fucking play by the rules. She broke the rules, got the Capitol to break the rules to win this games. I'm going to break the rules too. And that's what's really inspiring the revolution. That's why in the trailer you heard the bit with Prim talking about how now there's hope. Like, she's brought people hope.
I'd actually make the argument, because the other thing I wanted to talk about is how manufactured every part of life is in this universe. Like, the Capitol manufactures everything. It's very Big Brother is watching you. Everything they do is a show all the time. It's all about the impact. And that's why symbols are so dangerous for them. That's why even the appearance of defiance is a problem. Because, yes, Katniss is... in the games, when she pulls out the berries, yes, she's defying them. I think a significant portion of that defiance is, yes, she's defying the Capitol, but also she wants to fucking live, and she wants this boy to live too.
Yeah. Like, for her, it's survival. Like, she is a perfect pawn in all of this. For both sides.
Yes.
It doesn't work as well for Snow. He tries to use her as a pawn in the Victory Tour, and it fails. Yes.
But it's already too late.
But it's also because she's very close with Haymitch, who's a member of this revolution, and he's influencing her.
Yes.
And Gale is influencing her because he's part of the revolution as well, and Cinna's part of the revolution. So he makes this dress for her. I don't know if she knew.
She does not.
What the dress is going to do when she spins and becomes a Mockingjay, but that is the symbol of revolution, and it is on every screen the night before the Hunger Games, and she is completely oblivious to it.
Yep.
And they even say, I can't remember the exact quote, but at the end of the film, Haymitch even mentions why he doesn't let her know anything. And it's basically because it will work out better if she doesn't.
It's... in the book, he specifically says that they didn't tell Katniss and PETA because they would be the first people that the Capitol tried to capture.
Yeah.
And if they did, they couldn't torture anything out of them.
Yeah.
They could torture them, but they wouldn't get any information.
Yeah. I don't think it's quite that in the movie, but I don't remember, and I didn't write it down.
Do you get any information about how Haymitch wins his game?
In the movie, no. I do know how, because I read a lot of information.
So, Haymitch wins his game kind of by accident. His whole deal, the, like, character that he puts on for these games is that he's smarter than everyone else. And he is, and that's the problem. So he actually it's described, they watch the tape, because everything's on tape, of course.
Yeah.
So they watch the tapes of his games, and they realize he basically just outlasted everyone because he was trying to find the edge of the arena. When he did finally find the edge of the arena, he realized there's a force field there, and he ends up using that force field to his advantage to kill the District 1 tribute that's left between the two of them.
if I recall, she throws an axe at his head and he ducks and the axe bounces off and hits her.
He doesn't even duck. She has partially disemboweled him, so he collapses.
It's like that fucking, Kenny Omega Okada match in New Japan when Okada's going for the Rainmaker and Kenny's just too tired and falls over and Okada misses.
What's that movie that you watched that's like, it's about the hyper violence? It's like Ichi the Killer.
Oh, Ichi the Killer?
Yeah. Like, at the end, doesn't he, like, straight up have part of his intestines hanging out of him? Spoilers?
Probably. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It's just, yeah, like, it's that type of imagery where it's described as, like, he is literally holding his guts inside of himself and collapses. She throws but he has taken her to this place because he knows.
It's like every other Animorphs book when, like, Jake is describing, like, as a tiger, like, he's losing a leg and his guts are on the wrong side and he needs to do
Body horror, these series.
Gotta bring it back to Animorphs every time.
So that victory was seen as Haymitch symbolically mocking the Capitol. And that's why they punish him. I don't want to say how they punish him because I don't remember if that's covered in Mockingjay or not. But he is punished thoroughly for his crime of appearing to defy the Capitol.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do the same thing with Katniss, but it's been
and it's
30 more years, or 25 more years.
It's hinted that they've done this to a lot of people, too. Because they call them the Morphlings.
Yes.
And they both won their games by camouflaging themselves and outlasting. And Haymitch mentions that they both faced a similar path to his, where now they're just complete total drunks, completely out of it.
They are,
and it's probably because the Capitol, killed all of their family and loved ones.
They were specifically addicted to morphine.
Yes. Is that why they're called the Morphlings?
Yes, the drug in this universe is. The drug in this universe is called Morphling, but it's morphine.
I read it as like, they like camouflage, morph, like Animorphs.
You know how when you're on drugs and you really get into like textures and painting and design.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what they're going for.
I have never done a drug.
Not even one
Not
drug.
a one drug. Not a single drug. When I go by the drugstore, I say, not today, Satan. Get that Tylenol away from me. Miss me with that shit. I'm very ill.
So, speaking of symbols, another really strong... Oh, I'm sorry. One more quick thing I wanted to say. When they're in the actual games, does Joanna straight up say the Jabberjays can't affect her because there's no one left she loves?
Yes.
Okay.
She doesn't say that about the Jabberjays. It's... I can't remember the context of it, but she more or less yells into the forest, like, fuck all of you, you can't touch me, I'm gonna come after your soul, President Snow. Everyone's like, watch it. And she's like, they can't do anything to me. No one I love is still alive. Like, she is done. She does that at the pregame thing, too. Like, she's like, fuck this, and fuck everyone who has anything to do with this. And, of course, diegetically, they censor her because it's a PG-13 movie.
Yes.
Love that bit.
So I am going to give you her backstory because it is not given in the movie.
Okay.
In the book at all. This was kind of pieced together. It is very strongly implied that after her victory, she refused to become essentially a prostitute in the Capitol. And so the Capitol, President Snow, had all of her family murdered, slowly.
Oh.
Yeah. So it is...
That seems to be his MO.
Yeah. Just murder families.
I can't kill the tributes. Or the victors, excuse me. But I'll get their families. But although that's kind of come to an end with this one.
So, I actually wanted to bring that up, too. I think, which you actually may have just answered my question, I feel like it would have been more effective for President Snow to say, instead of saying the Quarter Quell is you reap from existing victors. No. You reap from existing victors' families. But if you kill all their families, you don't have anyone to reap from. But,
Yeah.
that said...
Well, again, knowing that Plutarch's in on it, I think that's why, at least in the movie, again, 99% sure it's Plutarch's idea to reap from existing victors.
Yeah. There's another thing where she's describing the Quarter Quell ceremony. She describes how, like, a kid has the box, and he, like, opens the lid on the box, and there's, like, hundreds of yellowing envelopes, and he like, breaks the seal and pulls it out and reads it. And she's like, there's no way the person who came up with this, wrote this exact thing. It's too good to be true for his current situation. I'm like, bitch, everything in the Capitol is manufactured. You don't think he's making this the fuck up and all of them are blank?
So, funny you mention that. There is a deleted scene I read about, and of course, didn't pull and save to the notes, because...
Are they all blank?
Why would we talk about this? No. It's different. Hold for scroll. So, in the movie, what you see in the final cut, Plutarch mentions adding a wrinkle to it, and then you get the reveal that they're going to pull from existing victors. The deleted scene. Plutarch enters a vault containing hundreds of safes marked with Quarter Quell numbers, and he removes the card with the original rule change for the Third Quell, burns it, and replacing it with the new one.
Ah, so Plutarch literally changes it.
He literally changes the rules.
Okay.
Which Snow wouldn't have been there when the original rule for the Third Quarter Quell was written, as we'll learn in Songbird and Snakes, because he's not that old.
Correct.
So he wouldn't know that it's not what was originally planned.
Right. I just assumed it was blank and he would make it up.
That's fair as well. Why not?
Because everything else in the Capitol is so manufactured, why wouldn't this also just be a show? Everything is a choice. We went to theater school. Everything is a choice.
Yep, or assume everything is a choice.
Yes. And then...
Oh, the first Quarter Quell? I just looked it up because I had my phone out. The citizens of each district voted on who the tributes would be.
That's what it was.
Which is fucking crazy.
Yes. So, another minor thing I wanted to bring up is that you asked about the age limit. But apparently the Quarter Quell has no age limit.
Well, it can't.
Because
the existing victors wrinkle.
Yes. But also, Mags is one of the earliest victors.
Yeah.
And, like, she's old.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not that old. This has only existed for 75 years.
So, even if she was the victor of the first at 17 or 18... 18 is the oldest you can be picked?
Yes.
Even if she was the victor of the first at 18, the oldest she could be is, what, 86? Wait.
No, that's not. No.
88?
93.
Wow, I was a math major for a semester in college and only one semester.
The oldest she could be is 93, but she's not.
No, she's not that old.
What I'm trying to say is, like, this is only a couple of generations that this has been happening. This is...
It's us back to the end of World War II, the beginning of communism.
Yeah.
Like, that's or communism? Christ, the beginning of the Cold War. When we were fighting communism. I say we, meaning the U.S. government.
We did not exist in any functional form yet.
No, my parents barely existed in a functional form. It could be argued my father still doesn't exist in a functional form.
So, this is just, like, something that it feels inescapable and eternal because it's just how things are. Mm-hmm. But it also makes sense why people who grew up in it, it's not a stable system.
Yeah. And I think that might be why they target children in this.
Yeah.
Because
you keep them scared.
I remember being 16 and believing everything an adult told me. And if, the president said this is how it is, that's how it was. It wasn't until I moved out of my parents' house I started questioning some of the things that they taught me.
The other thing that's a useful reason you target children is because you're not just harming the children, you're hurting their parents. Mm-hmm. Because who's going to want to have children if you know that they're going to be thrown into the reaping when they turn 12?
Yeah.
That's actually something that Katniss thinks about repeatedly, is that because she realizes fairly early on in the book, like, she and Peeta have to get married. And she's like, I wonder if President Snow is going to insist that we have kids. How am I going to feel when my child is standing for the reaping?
Yeah.
What if their name gets picked? Are they going to engineer that their name gets picked?
Well, luckily for her, assuming that the system is operating as it seems, her child's name would only be in there a handful of times because they wouldn't need to pull supplies. She's a victor. They'd have plenty of supplies.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's any sort of contraception in this. Because it is a common fascist ideal of have lots of kids. Because you need more bodies to grind into dust to keep the capitalists fed.
Like our, I don't know if it's the temporary speaker or the new one that they voted on, every woman in America owes the country a worker.
So mad that dude is 2 heartbeats from the presidency.
I don't know. Is he old? It could be fewer.
Not old enough.
So you're punishing by targeting the children. You're punishing everyone.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, why the cruelty is the point. It's why it's designed that way. But speaking of designing, the whole purpose of the Capitol is becoming what someone else wants, molding these victors into a consumable product. Because it's implied with Finnick that he basically gets passed around through the Capitol. Like, he'll stick with one very generous sponsor per year, every year at the Capitol. And he, like, spends the whole season with them, and then he goes, after the end of the season, he goes back home and never sticks with the same person twice. So it's like, it's a form of prostitution, essentially.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you get the favor of the victor for however long.
You're a commodity. You're not a human being.
Yes. And I would make the argument that you said earlier that Katniss refuses to wear a mask. I think it's, what's that John Rubin line? Or, no gimmicks, everybody's got one. My
gimmick, no gimmicks, mine is that I've got none.
Exactly. Her gimmick is that she doesn't have a gimmick. Her gimmick is that she's completely true and open and vulnerable. And that's not true, because I would make the argument that her choices are all, especially in this book, are designed to protect her family. Like, her original choice is also literally protecting Prim, but her choices in this book, it's kind of like how you...
She makes her decisions to protect her family, but that's still honest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's nothing self-serving about it. And I think that's why she's such an inspiration for this revolution, is because she's not self-serving. She's not blatantly doing the obvious thing that everyone else has done to survive.
There's a point where she and Gale have a fight in the thing when he says, I love you, and she says, I know.
Do they have Star Wars in Panem?
He says, I don't want anything they made in the Capitol. And she says, anything they made in the Capitol? Was that directed at me? Does he think I am now just another product of the Capitol and therefore something untouchable? Because she is. At this point, she is a product of the Capitol. Because even if you're trying to avoid something, if all you ever think about is avoiding it, you're still letting it control your life.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I was saying before, how she's just a perfect pawn in this game of chess that she doesn't know is happening.
Yeah.
Because the Capitol is trying to mold her, to use her as propaganda, to keep instilling fear, just that spark of hope, as long as it doesn't set a fire. But just keep instilling that fear, But hey, maybe you'll win. But the Revolution understands that she's not going to play along the way everyone else will.
Yes.
Because she needs to protect her family, and she's honest about that. So they're taking advantage of that.
No ethical participation under Snow.
Yes. I mean, there's no ethics under Snow. He's killing children.
Another thing that this book and movie I feel like does really well is going back to the us versus them thing. Yes, they are literally commodifying the bodies of children, and in this book, adults in multiple senses, both as victors and also for products, whatever. But Katniss and Peeta do the same thing to the people in the Capitol. She literally calls her prep team pets. She never says that to their faces, but she refers to them as pets because she doesn't see them as people. She thinks their lives in the Capitol are so vapid and basically just vapid is the best word I can use.
Yeah.
That it's so far removed from what her reality is that she can't relate to them. They're alien to her.
They're like pigs eating whatever Snow throws in the trough.
Exactly. And Peeta actually, you brought it up, the puking.
The syrup of Ipecac or whatever that is.
Yes.
Is that what that's called? Something Ipecac.
I mean, I just take Pepto-Bismol.
I mean, I do too, but for very different reasons. Wait, is
So
Pepto-Bismol a drug? Shit!
So, when they do that, they start dancing together afterwards, and he's like, you go along thinking they're not so bad, thinking you can like them, and you realize they're still divided, because you are still dividing the people of the Capitol from... And it's also why you have the victors' villages, because yes, these people literally survived trauma, but you're still separating them and putting them above.
There's still a barrier.
Yes, and you want that barrier.
And it's a dangling of a carrot, too. Having the Victor Village right there in the district. Mm-hmm. Because what you're showing to those kids is, oh, I haven't eaten in 3 days. Maybe I'll volunteer like Katniss did. And then maybe I'll win, and then I can eat. Uh-huh. There's even somebody, I can't remember which district it is, but it's on the Victory Tour. A little girl tells Katniss that she's going to volunteer too. And that breaks her heart. That just ruins her.
In the final scene, you said in the movie it's Finnick, where who tells her, remember who the real enemy is?
Yeah.
So
that's a motif throughout the movie. I think Haymitch says it at some point.
Yeah, Haymitch says it to her. And she struggles with that. Because as soon as she's in the arena, she is in survival mode, in fight or flight mode, and she actually, deals with the fact, she's like, I ate lunch with these people.
Yeah.
And I did not hesitate to murder them as it's described as she straight up shoots an arrow into Gloss's head. Her temple. And...
In this one?
Yes. Cashmere and Gloss are the tributes from one.
Does she...
It's on the cornucopia in the bloodbath. I don't know if she does it in the...
I can't remember it in the movie. Because there's one of the scenes, because it's a movie and it's not first-person perspective, there are a few scenes of Snow and Plutarch, or Snow and his granddaughter, that we don't get in the book. And one of those scenes is Snow and Plutarch talking about moves and counter moves. And how they recognize that Snow needs her gone, but they need to do it at the right time in the right way. Do it in the games, do it like this. Mm-hmm. At least this is what Plutarch wants Snow to believe. But what Snow says is, or what Plutarch leads Snow to believe, is that once she's in the games, Katniss will have no allies, she will shoot a friend, and then the Revolution will lose hope because they will see the real side of her. Yeah. So I was watching specifically for that, and I don't recall her actually killing anybody. I think Peeta drowns somebody.
I think she actually
No, you know what? She shoots one guy in the ankle and drops him off the bridge to the cornucopia.
Yes, that is I think it's Brutus.
Yeah, she gets one guy there.
That's the other District 2 tribute.
Yeah.
So
no, because Gloss
and Cashmere are District 1.
Yeah,
they're brother and sister.
I think he comes back at the end
Joanna kills Kashmir.
I don't know what happens to Gloss then, but I don't think Katniss shoots Gloss.
Okay. In the book, she definitely does.
He's still alive, and I don't think we see how he dies. I can't remember. I made no note of it, but I was definitely watching because it gives that scene where she's aiming her arrow at Fennec so much more weight that she's gotten this far. She's so close to the end of this game. There's only like 4 people left, and she hasn't killed anybody yet.
It's interesting because I kind of get the symbolism of both, because Finnick is her friend and all you see is him trying to be her friend, but she's so closed off and guarded she doesn't recognize it, she doesn't trust it.
Yeah.
The only people she trusts are Haymitch and Peeta, and she shouldn't trust Haymitch. That's why she's so angry at the end of the book.
Yeah, because he betrayed her.
He did.
He broke his promise and he didn't save Peeta, he saved her.
Yes, which I want to talk about that in a second, but also in the book it's actually Enobaria, the Teeth Lady.
Oh, okay.
It's actually her that she is aiming at. And, of course, she doesn't see Finnick at this point. So, she's aiming at Enobaria, and she realizes, because she saw BT with the wire and the knife, and she's like, what is he trying to do? And then Enobaria is coming in, and she realizes Haymitch's last words to her, which are, remember who the real enemy is. And then she realizes who the real enemy actually is, and she's like
and that's when she does the wire and the arrow. And
why would I need reminding? I have always known who the enemy is, who starves and tortures and kills us in the arena, who will soon kill everyone I love. Yes, I know who the enemy is, and it's not Enobaria.
I think it's more powerful having a character actually say it out loud at that moment, because then everyone in the districts is hearing that. Because everyone's watching. Everyone has to be watching.
It's interesting. I like this. I can see the symbolism of both. Because in the book, yes, it is the person who was an actual direct threat to her at that moment. She straight up turns her back on Enobaria to shoot the force field. And she's like, she's like, I remove my aim from Enobaria to shoot the force field.
That's almost a better act of defiance.
And then, but I like in the movie how it's like she is actively defying the expectations put on her, however false, by Snow and Plutarch. Because Snow's character is everyone will do what is best for themselves. And to an extent, she has kind of done that in the sense that, like, he's using her love for her family against her. And so everything she's been doing has been to please him so that he doesn't hurt them. But at that point, she realizes it can't just be about them. When she and Gale are having the fight before he essentially says that she's made in the Capitol, he tells her, what about the people, because she wants to run, she wants to flee.
Yeah.
And he's like, what about the people who can't flee?
Yeah.
And it's not until he almost dies and she realizes it can't just be about me. It can't just be about my family because there are other families.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it takes her that long to realize it because she's a 17-year-old PTSD.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, I feel like it's a little lost in the movie, is that she's fucking 17 years old. Like,
wildly pregnant hormones, just wild.
She's not pregnant. Wait, was she really pregnant?
No, she was.
I was like, wait a minute.
No.
But no, she's fucking 17 years old. She has to pretend to be with not her boyfriend, or the president will kill her boyfriend. Is that how Megan Rapinoe felt during the 2019 World Cup? Or Sue Bird, rather, when she wrote that opinion piece? Like, she's... We're talking this, like, macro story of a political revolution where she is the figurehead of it, willing or unwilling, knowing or unknowing, and this conflict between, a fascist state and its constituents, when in her head half of her time is spent going, do I like Peeta though? I think I might like Peeta. And she's having a very, like, real teenage girl moment. Because, like, yeah. I mean, when I was 17, we were just a couple years into the Iraq invasion and the Afghan invasion in the U.S. And there was all this talk about like insurgents and then as I got older I read articles like, oh no, we were just bombing weddings for no reason, drone strikes and all that shit. And granted, I wasn't the face of a revolution at the time, but it was still like all that going around me. I'm like, oh, but that girl's cute. Do I like that girl? Like,
people have always been people, even in the worst possible time frames to be alive.
Exactly.
So I have 2 questions that are kind of tied together.
Okay.
They're both about Katniss.
Okay.
First question, and I know we differ on this. Do you think Katniss cares about Peeta?
So, our good friend Mel Renette brought this up on Twitter the other day. And I'm using her Twitter name, not your real name, Mel. I hope that's okay. She brought this up on Twitter the other day before I watched the movie. And at the end of Hunger Games, the first one, I think she saw him as a friend, at the worst acquaintance, but not as any sort of romantic partner. Mm-hmm. She cared about him in the way you care about somebody you go through a traumatic event with, right?
Trauma bond.
But also, I wouldn't say she used him, but she used him with the berry thing at the end to survive.
I feel like it's safe to say that if you both come out of it alive, it's not necessarily like.
But it was like, I can't kill him because I care enough about him to not kill him. But if we both kill ourselves, then neither of us have to make that choice, or they change the rules again and we survive, right? Mm-hmm. And through the first act and a half of this, that rang true. It wasn't until there was a specific scene where it clicked with me that, oh, she does. And I think it's when they start sharing a bed. And I use that term, not sleeping together. Because that's
they're literally sleeping together,
but they're not fucking.
Correct. They're trying to convince everyone they're fucking.
And it's that moment where she recognizes that the only person in the world that can understand exactly what she's gone through is him. Because he went through exactly the same thing beat by beat. He was there. And no other victor can say the same thing because only one has ever gotten out previously. But she has that bond, and it's extra strong because they went through the same thing. And I think that's when she starts developing actual feelings for him. Where that bothers me is that she acts as though she has those feelings with what she says earlier in the movie, but not through what she does. Like, she requests way early on, Haymitch spare Peeta, and I didn't really understand why. Because it didn't seem like she cared. Like, he had that line during the victory tour, like, we live 25 yards away, and it could be miles, Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't act like she likes him to him, but she still is willing to, like, sacrifice Haymitch for him, So, I think by the end of this, she does actually love him in that sense. Whether it's a lasting love or just, the end of Speed is to be determined.
So, I'm going to bring up the pregnancy scene here.
Okay.
For 2 reasons.
And I know the pregnancy thing is more expanded in the book.
Yes. It's another thing where he drops the bombshell of, like, in the first one, he's like, I'm in love with her. And she freaks out. She's like, how did you made me look weak? In this one, she reacts almost like she's surprised, but she trusts him. She doesn't trust anyone. She trusts Gale, she trusts Haymitch, and she trusts Peeta, and that's it. Yeah. So in this scene, she is grateful to him because he has now this bombshell that he drops. She understands why he's doing it.
Yeah. She gets it this time.
Exactly. And she also has this thought. I know my face is projected in a tight close-up on the screen, but I don't make any effort to hide it. Because for a moment, even I am working through what Peeta has said. Isn't it the thing I dreaded most about the wedding, about the future, the loss of my children to the games? And it could be true now, couldn't it? If I hadn't spent my life building up layers of defenses until I recoil at even the suggestion of marriage or a family. She recognizes that it's a defense mechanism. She recognizes that she is so damaged by the society that she lives in, and also specifically what she has gone through, that she can't even think about having a family because she can't bring a child into this world, this unfair world. I think that scene is, I mean, it cements it, but I do think she cares about him, because that's part of the issue, is that yes, it's definitely, there is a trauma bond, but she also has that history with him where he fed her, and he means hope. PETA is literally the hope of this series.
Yeah.
And Gale is a different kind. Gale is the self-reliance that she has used up to this point, but it doesn't serve her anymore, because that can turn sour so fast.
It just clicked with me, the why she wants to save him, because while she is the symbol of hope for all of districts 3 through 12, he's her symbol of hope. That makes a lot more sense. I wish that were more clear.
Everyone, she and Haymitch basically admit to each other, I don't know if they literally say it, but they both admit, without saying it, that PETA is the better person. She talks about the reason that she won the games is because she is a bad person. And PETA won because he was with her. She says he's the only good person who ever won.
Yeah, Haymitch has a line about him early on, I think it's before the Reaping even, where, that boy is too good for anyone. That boy is too good for you.
There's a line from Hunger Games that we're going to revisit in the next one. And it is PETA the night before the games start, when they're on the roof. He tells her, I just don't want the Capitol to turn me into something I'm not.
Yeah.
So, very long answer, but she does care about PETA, because PETA represents the hope for a better future. And in loving him and in choosing to love him, or allowing herself to love him, she is allowing herself to hope for the future. Whereas her relationship with Gale is built on that trust, but it's also essentially built in that it's built in a universe where they were both literally starving to death.
Yeah, they're prison roommates who bonded.
Yes,
whereas
and it's not
PETA's
that,
more of a different kind of bond.
Yes, and it's not that they don't love each other, and it's not that she's flip-flopping. It's that you can have feelings for multiple people at once, and they can be born out of different sources but still feel the same.
And it can feel complicated.
Yes.
Especially when you're 17 and hormones are raging and you're starting a war.
Exactly. So, my next question is, do you think Katniss would have been better off as a martyr? Do you think she would have been a stronger symbol for the rebellion if she died? And the third book was from PETA's point of view.
If she died in this Hunger Games?
Yeah, if let's say her last act was to explode the thing, and she actually died, she got crushed or whatever, and
let's revisit that question after we talk about Mockingjay, after I see it, because I don't know how the story ends here.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to make that call now. Okay. Because I don't know what happens when she survives.
Fair.
But that's going to be a fascinating question. Remind me when I actually sit down and watch the movies, and I'll watch it through that lens.
Keep that in the back of your mind. Would Katniss have been better? Literally, yes, she would have been better off because she would have been dead and not have to deal with her issues. But I mean,
would it have served the revolution better if she were a martyr then, as opposed to a leader?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
So,
but that kind of dovetails me into something I did want to talk about, which is in a revolution like this, everybody has a role to play. Haymitch and Plutarch are working in the background. They're older, they know how the system works, and they've ingrained themselves into different places of the system where they can manipulate the system.
Yes.
Katniss is young. She's naive, and they use that to their advantage by making her the face of this revolution. She's young, and she's talented, and she's pretty, and she's from the poorest district, and she's got this cute romance with this attractive young lad, and she's going to lead us into freedom. And a fascinating thing I noticed in this is where does that leave the elderly? And there are 2 instances in this movie where we see an elderly person who is part of the revolution sacrifice themselves willingly for the cause. And the first is during the tour when they're in District 11. There's an old man who holds up the 3-finger salute and whistles Rue's song.
I do have to issue a retraction, by the way. Apparently that did actually start in District 12 as a way to say goodbye to someone that you loved.
The symbol?
Yes.
Okay.
But
it became a symbol because of
Yes.
this. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
That was from the last episode, if you've listened to it. So, an old gentleman from District 11 holds up the District 12 farewell salute, whistles the 4 notes, and then everyone else in District 11 that's there at the speech holds up the salute. But that old man who started it gets dragged up on stage and shot in the head in front of everybody. And I believe he knew full well what he was doing, but he needed Katniss to know that the district is behind her. That she has that entire district's support, and it was worth his life to communicate that with her in that moment. And to communicate to the Capitol that they will not be quiet anymore.
Something that I feel like Snow did in this book was overplay his hand. It is so obvious from every point, like at every point, that he is just doing this to punish Katniss. Like, the arena. He is willing to give another tribute active advantages. Finnick, specifically. Like, Finnick was clearly designed to win this.
Yeah.
The water arena, there was a trident. I know there were other things. But he was willing to give another tribute a distinct advantage over literally everyone else just to make sure that she got punished. The wedding dresses. The reaping of existing victors. It's so clear that this is just to hurt her.
Yep. The second instance of an old person I wanted to mention was Max. When they are dealing with the poison gas...
which is specifically a neurotoxin. I don't know if that's clear.
It kind of touches them and makes boils appear, but it can also just wash away. I just wrote it off as sci-fi future.
It's specifically a neurotoxin. They do lose control of their bodies if they stay in it for too long.
So Peeta gets too fucked up by it that he can't run on his own. So Mags, instead of letting Fennec make the choice between her and Peeta, just walks into the poison so that he doesn't have to make the choice. Knowing that Peeta and Katniss need to survive, and this will help that cause.
She also sacrifices herself at the reaping. Because Annie is the name who's called.
Yeah. And I believe at that point, she might even know at that point that there is a greater game being played here.
Mags,
knowing that Fennec will probably survive.
Mags definitely does.
I know she knows once they're in the games, but I wonder how early, because we find out later that a lot of the tributes, like the Morphlings, knew. One of them sacrifices themselves for Peeta, and he doesn't even know their name.
3, 4, 6, 7.
It's like
8 and 11.
It's basically everyone but the careers.
Yeah, there's a couple specific ones that are left out, but yeah.
But they're not even in the movie.
Yeah.
Like everyone we see in the movie that's not a career is in on it, basically.
Yeah.
So I wonder how far back that goes, because Plutarch more or less tells her at the thing at the president's house that, like, I'm doing this for you. She just, right over her head.
In the book, he actually has a watch that has a Mockingjay on it and shows it to her. It's a disappearing Mockingjay, so you have to, like, hold it at a specific angle and it appears in, like, the etched glass. And this dumb bitch is like, oh, he doesn't want other people to see it because then they'll steal his cool idea. No, he's literally telling you he's part of the rebellion.
She's so dumb. I'm glad they cut that from the movie because that's so dumb. What they replaced that with is...
he was also, at the end of the book, he also tells her he was trying to give her a hint about the arena.
Yeah, because it's a clock.
Exactly.
And it just would have made her look real dumb if they kept that in. Instead, they give her the Mockingjay symbol earlier. When they're on the train on the tour, she sees it painted on the inside of a tunnel.
Yes.
And that's when she realizes this means a little bit more than just a cool pin.
So, 2 things. Because I know for a fact that you don't get the source of her pin. She gets it from Prim in the movie, right?
No. In the movie, she gets it at the black market from an old lady. And I can't remember the old lady's name, but I think it's the same old lady in this one who...
Is it Gracie Say?
Maybe. When they're fucking up the black market when the peacemakers come in. Mm-hmm. Peacekeepers, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I think she, like, gets hit or something, so she's helping, like, ice her wounds and put pressure on it, and then she sees Gale get whipped.
Yes.
And then she runs to help Gale. So I think it's that same old lady.
So, in the book, she actually this character was entirely cut from the movies because she's not that important. She's a female friend of Katniss's in the second book. She's the mayor's daughter, and she gives Katniss the pin. The important thing about that is that the pin came from her aunt, who was a tribute with Haymitch in that Quarter Quell.
Oh.
And died. Katniss finds out when she watches that her mother was friends with this woman.
Oh, jeez.
And the mayor's wife, it was her twin sister. So it was her aunt. So she gets that pin from this friend. Shit, I don't remember. Oh, and then there's another scene that is I know is cut. When she goes outside the fence after it's electrified, she runs into 2 refugees from District 8. Oops. She runs into two refugees from District 8 during the uprising there, and that's how she finds out a lot about the uprising, and that's the first inkling that she hears about District 13. What is District 13's main export? Do you remember that from the first one? What was it, rather?
Death? They don't mention, I don't think.
So District 13, Katniss was told in school...
Oh, isn't it like nuclear weapons or something?
Katniss was told their main export was graphite. She's told by Bonnie and Twill, which are the District 8 refugees, their main export was nuclear weapons. They were the nuclear arsenal for the for Pan Am.
Yeah. Now that does not, like, the district is mentioned maybe twice before they're there. You know, it's not really a thing in the movie.
It's mentioned as a cautionary tale in the first one, and it creeps up more and more in Catching Fire.
Like, in the first one, when they do, like, the history of the Hunger Games little video thing, they mention 13 districts, but they don't mention what District 13 was. Yes. And then in this one, towards the beginning, it's, they mention that it was leveled, basically.
Yeah. Katniss realizes that when they're making an announcement that, because it is strongly implied by the Capitol that, it was actually... they dropped bombs or nuclear weapons on District 13. And because there's a reporter in the District 13 area that tells them, oh, the ground is still too toxic, we can't go over here. But Katniss, Bonnie and Twill tell her there's a Mockingjay that appears in the same corner of the footage that's always there. It's the same Mockingjay every single time. And Katniss sees that and realizes, and then she talks to Haymitch, and Haymitch is like, nah, bitch, you crazy, while knowing...
Yeah, knowing that that's where they're going.
Exactly. So she catches that, and she's like, okay, so they are lying to us about District 13. What I think is interesting is by the end of this book, they have done to District 12 what they said they were going to do to District 13. Or what they said they did to District 13.
Or did they actually? Or I guess I'll find out in the next book, huh?
You will find out in the next book. Do you see any of the other sections in the clock? Because we don't get all of them in the book.
No.
The one you get the blood rain.
Blood rain, but we only get that because Joanna comes out covered in blood.
Exactly.
Hot. Gotta keep my kinks out of the pot.
So it's the tsunami, lightning, blood rain, howler monkeys, poison gas, jabberjays.
Yes.
There is also one in the book that is just described as there's a cannon and then a hovercraft appears and it has to pick the pieces out of the water 5 different times.
Well?
She's like, I don't ever want to know what's in that section.
Nope. It seems like the safe place is the cornucopia, huh? Or the beach.
Well, the cornucopia spins.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then, so there is a quote that kind of sets up Mockingjay.
Okay.
So I mentioned that Katniss is kind of an unreliable narrator in this already, in that she doesn't realize that she's unreliable, but like her thought pattern is clearly paranoid. She assumes everyone's out to kill her. Like, she literally has to be told, yes, Joanna hit you, but it's to dig the fucking tracker out of your arm. She was not a pawn. Distraction... decoy.
Yes.
She was a decoy to pull the careers away from you, so that's why she cut your arm open and then spread the blood on your face, you
and
dumbass.
Said, stay down.
Yes! Yeah. She was trying to keep you alive. But the quote that she has is, it's an awful lot to take in, this elaborate plan in which I was a piece, just as I was meant to be in the Hunger Games. Used without consent, without knowledge. At least in the Hunger Games, I knew I was being played with.
Cool.
That sets up her mind, her frame of mind. Yeah, her state of mind going into Mockingjay is that, oh, even the people I thought I trusted, I can't trust.
Yep.
Because how do I know? I know they're lying to me. How long is it going to be until the lies are revealed? And I think that goes back into she's already not in a position to trust authority. But the whole point of District 13 is trusting that authority, and that's why she chafes so much.
And we'll get into that more when we get to Mockingjay. I did want to briefly talk about symbolism in propaganda. Not like, oh, this part of the movie represents this. No, I mean like the use of symbols in propaganda. And a fascinating thing, like, the Mockingjay is the symbol of the revolution. Yeah. And I think even Katniss understands it by the time she's in the games again. But there's a great little scene with Snow and his granddaughter. And they're just eating breakfast. And he looks and his granddaughter's wearing her hair in a single braid. And he said, when did you start wearing your hair like that? And she says, oh, everyone at school wears their hair like this now. And he's recognizing that there are more symbols coming out of this revolution beyond just the Mockingjay.
He's losing control of the narrative.
Exactly. She is becoming a symbol. Kids are wearing their hair like her because they want to be like Katniss, and she's a revolutionary. And they're going to start behaving like Katniss, and he's losing the youth in the capital.
If I recall correctly, doesn't she start undoing it? Because he doesn't say anything.
She might. I think she starts playing with it.
Yeah, like he doesn't actually say anything, and he's trying to be kind to her and like hold his reaction in, but she can tell he's upset, and I feel like I remember her just like quietly starting to undo it.
I didn't recognize it as undoing it, but you might be right.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that briefly.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the movie itself?
Yeah.
Well, movie things.
Movie things.
So most of the cast is the same as the last time. We have a new director. The new director, and I think he covers the rest of them, is Francis Lawrence.
Yes.
He directed Constantine, I Am Legend, Red Sparrow. We got some new writers as well. Simon Beaufoy, who wrote The Full Monty and won an Oscar for Slumdog Millionaire.
Okay.
And Michael De Bruyne, who won an Oscar for Little Miss Sunshine and also wrote Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Okay.
So there's some pedigree in this screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars TFA probably explains why it's 2.5 hours long. Plutarch Heavensbee is played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who won an Oscar for Capote. He's also in Magnolia. He might be the greatest character actor of the 21st century.
I think that's, yeah.
So far. Because he's not
I would say maybe the greatest male
character actor? Sure. I'll take that.
Because obviously, character actress Margot Martindale is the greatest female.
God damn it. I mean, like, even his leading roles were shit like Capote. Like, he's playing a character, you know?
Yeah.
BT was played by Jeffrey Wright, who's in Angels in America, The Batman, The French Dispatch. Finnick Odair is played by Sam Claflin, who's in Me Before You, Peaky Blinders, and Enola Holmes.
I did not realize that he was not American until I heard him speak.
You know...
Out of character.
If I try a British accent...
No. No.
It gets caught immediately. But all these Brits coming out here, taking our jobs, mastering the American accent.
The Australians you have to worry about.
Oh yeah, it's the Australians, you're right. Mags Flanagan is played by Lynn Cohen. She was in Munich and Synecdoche, New York.
Wasn't Philip Seymour Hoffman also in Synecdoche, New York? Didn't he play the main dude? I wonder if that's how they
Did I not catch that?
No, I was just thinking they were...
Yeah, he was in Synecdoche, New York.
Oh.
Yeah. That movie's fucking a trip.
That
movie is fucking wild.
Charlie, speaking of people who need some fucking therapy, Charlie Kaufman
Has Charlie Kaufman... Oh my god, are we gonna do adaptation on this pod?
We're gonna have to, probably.
That'll be a weird episode.
Yep, sure will.
And finally, last but certainly not least, Joanna Mason, played by Jenna Malone. You may know from Contact, Pride and Prejudice, Nocturnal Animals.
You didn't put Stepmom on there?
The fuck is Stepmom?
Julia Roberts picture from the 90s with baby Jenna Malone in it.
I picked a Jenna Malone baby movie from the 90s. I said Contact. She played young Jodie Foster in one of the coolest mirror shots that I'm still not 100% sure how they did.
They made a sacrifice to some god.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, the opening scene of Contact includes a scene where Jenna Malone is running up a staircase, following the camera up the staircase, and then as the camera zooms out, it zooms out from the mirror of the medicine cabinet she opens, and I don't know how they fucking did it. I know there's explainers out there, I've seen them, I still don't fucking know how they did it. Cool as shit. Love that shit. But
this
God
is the Jenna Malone household Stan household.
Oh. The scene where she strips in the elevator?
So funny!
So, they shot that on location in a hotel, and she actually stripped naked for the takes.
Of course she did!
There was a take where she's fully naked, and then the door opens, and a hotel employee carrying coffees is trying to enter the elevator.
I think I knew about that!
And she's trying to hold character, and she can't do it.
Considering how much of a menace Jennifer Lawrence was on the first movie, I feel like that would be like a good prank on her if you didn't tell her that it was just going to be like full boobies.
I mean, if you look at the facials of Woody Harrelson, Jennifer Lawrence, and Josh Hutcherson during that scene, they are fucking hilarious. Like, Jennifer's doing something with her mouth that is this weird mix of, like, are you serious? Disgust and arousal. It is fascinating. It is so good.
Okay, AO3, how many fanfics are there of Joanna and...
Not enough. This is the first film with a female lead to top the annual box office since The Exorcist, and the first with a sole female protagonist and primary marketing focus since The Sound of Music.
Wow.
Yeah. And this movie's 10 years old now, so it would have been the first in 40 years.
318, by the way, which is way fewer than I expected.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was a huge fucking box office movie. Every Hunger Games one and this one, when I was looking at box office data, it's like top 30 all time in the US. Like... It's topped so many... It's broken so many box office records for, like, weirdly specific things, like female protagonist and...
It's almost like women buy movie tickets. I'm shocked.
It's almost like you don't have to have a male lead. We talked about, last time, Jennifer Lawrence being a menace, injuring people. Your boy, Sam Claflin. He is a clumsy bitch.
Is that why he was in a wheelchair for me before you?
Maybe. So the arena, the water scenes, they filmed in a water park outside Atlanta. And the water was fucking cold.
Oh no.
So the director is like, Mags, you're old. You're not going in the water.
Sam Claflin said, fuck, you're not!
Sam Claflin said, all right, hop on, we're doing a take. And he slipped and fell, dunked her right in the water. He felt like shit, and she thought it was hilarious.
I think there's a quote from Jennifer Lawrence talking about how Sam fell, like, at least once in every take.
Oh, yeah, every scene, like, he fell at some point. Like, I don't know how they got a movie out of it with him. Like, with fucking Sugar Cube Boy, which he ate the sugar cubes each take.
Oh, no.
He ate a box of sugar cubes doing that scene.
Apparently, do you have anything about the fish?
I read the thing about the fish. How they were really eating raw fish.
Covered in sand? Yes.
And Jennifer Lawrence really didn't like fish, so the guys were just roasting her.
Apparently, this is another old one that I remember. I don't know if you have this or not, but apparently before her kissing scenes, especially with Liam Hemsworth, she would eat tuna fish. Like tuna fish sandwiches from catering.
That's funny.
Just to fuck with him.
Fucking menace. She's a fucking menace. I love her. Donald Sutherland and Jenna Malone played father and daughter in future episode of the show, Pride and Prejudice.
Yes, they did!
I feel like every episode we can bring up Pride and Prejudice, we will, and we'll never cover it.
It adds,
We're
it's like
never gonna cover
inversely
it.
proportional.
We're gonna cover it by me editing all the references made from other episodes. That's how we cover Pride and Prejudice.
I will say, though, she is great as, I think she plays Lydia.
She was a really talented child actor. Like, the few movies of hers I've seen when she was young, like, she's a killer.
Like, it is very hard for me to remember your performance in a movie that also contains Rosamund Pike and Keira Knightley.
Yeah, right? Francis Lawrence heard a lot of the criticism about the shaky cam from the first one and went, okay, we're going to shoot on IMAX instead. So they actually shot all of the arena stuff on IMAX. I never knew that until I recognized the aspect ratio change in the last couple scenes of the movie, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
The aspect ratio changes as she's going up the tube into the arena.
I didn't notice it then. I might have noticed it subconsciously, but I noticed it at the end, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
It changes.
That's really good. I love that.
I feel like that's a really good... You could also view that as a... Katniss comes alive and all of her senses are working on overdrive as soon as she enters the arena.
And also, it doesn't really, like, fuck with the spirit of what they were trying to go for in the first one, where he wanted the shaky cam because he didn't want to, like, Hollywoodize the violence and glorify the violence. He wanted it to feel real. There's not as much violence in this arena.
Yeah.
It's a lot of natural stakes.
Yeah.
And it still works. It still works really well. I didn't have many things. I did have a few options for who was going to play Finnick Odair. Taylor Kitsch is on that list.
Ugh.
And enemy of the pod, Armie Hammer.
He is too fucking old.
10 years ago?
He was too fucking old then.
I mean, well...
Finnick Odair is supposed to be 24. Because it's been 10 years since he won.
How old... Hey, Siri, how old is Armie Hammer?
Too damn old. I hope that picked it up.
He would have been 27.
But he's old money, which means he's, like, weird.
Yeah, he might have played it well, but also... Ugh.
Yeah. Yuck.
Also, names for director that were talked about.
Steven Soderbergh.
No, but 2/3 of the fucking Trinity, Alfonso Cuarón and Alejandro Inarritu, were both...
You know my feelings on Cuarón. Inarritu would probably be good.
Cronenberg.
No! It's not body horror! No!
And the one I kind of wanted to see, Duncan Jones. Who you, judging by the look on your face, don't know who that is.
Nope, I sure don't.
Duncan Jones directed Moon.
Okay.
Which is one of my favorite performances. He's a Nepo baby, but he's David Bowie's kid. If and you don't know. But he would have just come off Source Code. So, yeah, and he wound up doing, like, Warcraft, and then nothing since. But I wonder how his career would have progressed had he done this
if he got this IP instead
of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Because they made so few changes to the book. I imagine his vision of it would have been very similar. He just might have gotten some different performances, but he's gotten some great performances out of like Sam Rockwell and Moon.
I think we covered this in, actually, you remember how we were talking about Woody Harrelson as a good Haymitch? I feel like Sam Rockwell would have also been a good Haymitch.
Oh my god.
But maybe a little too young.
At the time, yeah. Now,
like,
he would be
grizzled
a great
Sam
Haymitch.
Rockwell.
Oh my god. He's such an underrated actor. He's a fucking brilliant actor.
Shoot, what was I gonna say before Sam Rockwell took over my brain? I don't remember.
I might have mispronounced his name. I think it's Iñárritu. And I'm not rolling my R's. My Spanish ain't good. Mi español es no muy bueno. Which is a grammatically incorrect sentence I learned. It's a lyric from a song.
Of course it is.
And the first Spanish class I took in 7th grade, the teacher was like, "Do you know any Spanish? Tell me what Spanish you know." And some kids were like, "Oh, I know hola, I know gracias." And I was like, "Mi español es no muy bueno." And she was like, "Yes, but no es muy bueno." And I was like, "Oh, that's a joke, isn't it?"
¿Dónde está la biblioteca? That is all the Spanish that I know.
Well, it's fitting that you would ask where the library is.
Yes.
See, the important one to know, in whatever foreign language you learn.
¿Dónde está el baño?
El baño.
El baño.
When I went to Thailand, they used a different alphabet from ours. I didn't learn a lot of Thai. I didn't learn really any Thai. But I could recognize the word bathroom when it was written down. I figured that out before we even left the airport on arrival, and it saved my skin more than once when we were out in public in Thailand. Like, I know those symbols. That means potty. This way, lads. How did we get there?
Spanish.
Something about...
Iñárritu.
I'm out of shit to talk about. Well, not completely, but I'm tired of talking.
So, next is going to be Mockingjay, which means for once you're going to have more work to do than me.
I've got to watch 2.5 hour long movies for this shit.
I will inform our listeners that because you have not seen Mockingjay Part 2 before.
Correct.
I want to watch that with you because it's also, I haven't seen it since it was in theaters.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You went to that without me.
I did. I went to that without you, and I met a very lovely girl, and I held her hand during the one scene. I can't...
What scene? Tell me what scene.
I can't tell you. It was not a romantic scene. I actually held her hand so hard that I hurt her hand, and I felt bad.
Is this scene going to cause me to bring up the Animorphs book where Tobias gets tortured for 90 pages?
No.
Okay.
No, it will bring up another one if you finish the series by then.
I might, we'll see.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's about it. We're going to go into Mockingjay.
Yeah, we'll finish the story before the story gets a prequel at the end of November.
I am already pretty-disappointed for that movie.
See, the amount I'm enjoying going through this franchise now, paired with your just disappointment in the prequel, makes me just fascinated for what this could be.
I can see the seeds of the prequel being planted specifically in the movies. Oh, that was the question I wanted to ask you. Suzanne Collins. I know she had a writing credit on the first movie.
She wasn't in the credits that I saw on this one.
Okay, so it's just the adapted by.
Yeah.
Is she back for Mockingjay, or is that still...
I haven't looked yet.
Okay.
Well,
that was what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, we'll figure that out next time.
Yeah.
But until then, you can find us on the socials. Our link tree is in the bio. With the state of the Twitter every day, fucking shitting on its own
horrors.
Face. Who knows what those socials will be, but that link tree is there, and I'll try and update that at some point when necessary. Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, fucking...
I wish I could whistle. I'd whistle the thing.